let's get straight into this video. Today we are going to be talking about what is day trading, you guys. So let's talk about day trading. This is for beginner day traders to figure out, is this something that you guys want to get into? If you have already, made up your mind and decided that, hey, day trading is something that I want to get into, this is a good place for you to start. My name is Deontay Long, also known as the Trucking Trader, and I have been trading for about 7 years. Right about now, I have done prop firm trading. I have traded stocks. I've traded crypto. I've traded forex. So I'm a pretty decent person to get some information from. All right, so let's talk about what is day trading. All right, day trading is the practice of buying and selling financial assets like stocks, forex, crypto within the same trading day, aiming to make profits. It doesn't matter if it's small profits or large profits. The goal is just with the aim to make profits, right? Using price movements by closing positions before the market closes, right? Which is essentially around 4 p.m. is when the market typically closes for about any market. That's including stocks, forex, and about most markets. Most markets are going to close at about 4 p.m., right? So this requires quick decision-making skills, deep market knowledge. Those are all things we talk about on this channel, market structure, liquidity, and all of the other things that you're going to need to understand the market, right? It also requires discipline and high risk tolerance. Day traders also use technical analysis, fundamental analysis such as news and volatility to capitalize on intraday price swings, unlike long-term investors. All right, so that is essentially day trading, you guys. We're just looking to buy and sell assets within the same day to make a profit, right? To keep everything long story short and easy and simple for you guys to understand. All right, so what markets can be traded? All right, so we can trade the futures markets. We can trade forex, we can trade stocks, we can trade crypto. There's options, right? There's commodities. There's a bunch of different things that can be traded. But the main thing that I like to focus on is the futures markets, and I pretty much trade indices. So I trade the NASDAQ. I do not trade gold. I do not trade ES. I do not trade euro dollar, USD JPY. I do trade stocks, but it's more so for investment purposes. And I do trade crypto as well. And I'm more of a long-term trader on crypto as well. So how do day traders actually make money? All right. Day traders make money from buying low, selling high, or selling high and then buying back low, right? Taking advantage of small intraday moves, using leverage to magnify gains. All right. So that is essentially how day traders make money. You can do these things with your own personal account, and you can also use prop firm accounts as well. And we're going to get more into that later on in this video. So let's talk about the tools that every day trader uses. All right, every day trader is going to be using tools like MetaTrader, TradeAvate. We're going to be using tools like TradingView, which is a tool that almost everybody uses to mark up their charts. We're going to be using things like brokers and prop firms such as FTMO, Funder Pro. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about futures prop firms like Apex and things like that. We use the economic calendar so that every week we can be prepared for what's to come out, like what news is going to come out. You definitely want to be aware of that. Newer traders use risk calculators so that you can, in real time know how much you're risking per trade. And then we also use journals as well. Like a lot of traders like to journal their wins and losses so that they can know what they was feeling at that moment of time, what they was seeing at that moment of time, and always be able to go back and refer to that. All right, so there's 3 main trading styles when it comes to day trading. There's scalping, right? So scalping is when you essentially open up a trade and you're looking to get out within the first 1 minute to 5 minutes of that trade. Intraday trading is more of a longer term trade. Honestly, you guys, I kind of messed this up a little bit. I feel like scalping should be anywhere between 1 minute to 15 minutes. Intraday should be anywhere between 30 minutes to about 3 hours or so. And then I would say like swing trading is probably going to take you, hours or days at a time, right? So those are the three main trading styles that we're going to be looking at mostly on this channel. We're going to be looking at scalping and intraday trading because that's the type of trader that I am, and I can only, educate you guys on things that I do inside of the markets as well. All right, so how to read a chart. All right, and this is something that we talk about a lot on this channel. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the candles, we're going to be looking at trend direction, support and resistance, key levels, and then we're going to be looking at market structure as well. These are all things that we talk about on this chart. I mean, I'm sorry, not on this chart, but on this channel over and over again. A lot of the videos do become repetitive, but the goal is to, you know, hopefully, allow you guys to see that the market is doing the same thing over and over again. And I feel like the more you guys can see it, the more you guys don't have to take anybody's words for it. You could just, you could see it enough times to believe it on your own. Okay. That also leads us to what do you need to learn first? So the first thing you need to learn is market structure, right? Is the market trending upwards? Is it going down? Is it consolidating? The second thing you want to learn, and this is a very important thing to learn, is liquidity. You have to know that the market is pretty much ran based on liquidity, and you have to know how to find it inside of the markets. You have to know where it's going to target next, right? Number three is a strategy, right? You have to come up with a strategy and you have to test that strategy for at least 6 months to know if you have a winning strategy or not. Number four is risk management. This is very important because even after you learn how to read the market and even when you can identify liquidity and you have a winning strategy, if you do not have risk management, you will still be incomplete as a trader. And number five is psychology. Psychology is very important as well because like I said, if you have those other four but if you're not in a good headspace when you're on those charts, more than likely you're going to fail. And it's just because you're not in a good headspace. It doesn't mean that you can't read price well or you don't know about liquidity or you don't have a strategy. Psychology is very important. Now let's talk about some of the risks that new traders do not realize, right? So there's a high failure rate in trading in general, but especially with new traders. Over leveraging is going to kill you for a long time, especially if you do not start to fight it now, right? If you don't come up with a plan to do something about it now, over leveraging is going to kill you over and over again. Emotional trading, this is another one that's going to wreck a lot of beginner traders for so long. And, it's something that you just have to experience. Like I can make a video about it. I can tell you guys what to do. But for most people, I believe that you just have to experience it for yourself and figure out how to overcome it for yourself, right? And one of the things that can help you overcome that is actually creating a strategy, creating a risk management plan, and actually sticking to that, right? Having no strategy, having no journal, right? That's going to increase the risk for new day traders, right? You want to, when you're first starting out as a trader, you really want to get as much information as you can about your trading, about yourself, about your psychology, and then you want to try to capitalize on the information that you have gained from watching yourself trade over for however long you was trading. So how much money do you need to get started with trading? With your own money, you need about $500 to $1,000. If you're using prop firms, you need about $50 to about $300 to buy a challenge. Anywhere between a 10K account all the way up until like maybe a 50K account. can get you, 300 bucks should be able to get you at least about a 50K account with most companies. All right. But if you're using your own money, I would say you need to start with about $500 to $1,000. If you're using prop firms, one thing I do like about prop firms is, you know, it's an easy entry level way to get in without putting too much money up front at first. I think it's really good for beginners, especially when it comes to teaching beginners how to manage their risk. And that's because they only give you a 5% drawdown, and then they give you a 10% overall drawdown. So, that's something that prop firms forces beginner traders to think about versus if you're a beginner trader and you put $1,000 into a account, you're not going to be thinking about 1% of drawdown, right? You're going to be thinking about how can I turn this 1,000 to 2,000. You're not going to be thinking about risking 20 bucks per trade or 40 bucks per trade or 60 bucks per trade. That's how we all wish we was going to be thinking, but the reality is you're not going to think like that. It's, all it takes is for you to over leverage one time on that $1,000 account, and then you could lose 50% on that account, which is why I say I think prop firms is a bit better for beginner day traders because instead of like if you over leverage on a prop firm that you spent $100 on, and you have a, let's say you lose 3 or 4% in one day on that prop firm, well, you still have that account and you still have the potential to bounce that account back, right? But if you do that with your own real money, it's completely different. So most of you already know the prop firms that I mostly recommend is E8 Markets, Funder Pro, Alpha Capital, and FTMO. Recently, E8 Markets have went through a really big change where they have done some weird stuff with their models. Like they only offer like one step accounts now. So I'm just about ready to take E8 Markets off of my list. They have really disappointed me with that one. All right, so here is what beginner day traders should do next. Pick a market. Me personally, I trade NASDAQ. I mostly trade NASDAQ only. If you're going to trade crypto, if you're going to trade NASDAQ, if you're going to trade gold, whatever you're going to trade, pick a market and lock in on that market. Do not try to trade too many different things at once. Learn market structure and liquidity. Though those are two very important things. Number three, backtest a simple strategy, right? So you want to learn some things either from ICT or from my channel, right? And you want to develop a strategy, and then you want to try to backtest this strategy for at least 6 months, right? So that means in order for you to have a proper day where you're backtesting, you have to follow the rules, right? You have to do the same thing over and over again for you to really know is this strategy working. So what does that mean? You can't say that, hey, I have a strategy and yeah, I'm going to use it for London and I'm going to use it for the New York session. No, if your strategy is for the New York session, you need to only use that strategy for the New York session, right? And if you use it for the London, that doesn't count to back testing, right? That should not count on your back testing. So number four, start on a demo account. This is something that's like really huge. I struggled with this one the most when I first started trading, and that was because I started trading with real money. But start on a demo account, and that's because it's going to be free to make mistakes, you guys. It's going to be free to make mistakes. You can blow a million demo accounts, and it will not hurt you. So definitely start on a demo. Trust me on this one. I would even go as far as to say spend 6 months to a year on a demo before you even think about touching a real account. And then last but not least, go for a small prop firm challenge, right? So even when you get to a point where you feel like I'm done with the demo, I'm tired of doing the demo trading, that's when you go in and you buy a small account. Buy you a 5K, buy you a 10K account. Learn how to manage that account first, because if you can't get a 5K or a 10K account funded, there's no reason you should be buying a 25K or a 50K account, right? It's just basic math, right? Basic math. And that's it's going to be painful for some of you guys to do that. But think about how much money you're going to be saving because you're not blowing really expensive accounts, right? So that is going to be the video, you guys. If you are looking to become a day trader, these are all of the things that I will do right now. Like I said, you guys have a lot of good information on this channel right here. So all you have to do is click that like button, subscribe, turn on that bell, and we will be getting into plenty of great videos that's going to help you guys level up and become better day traders in the future, you guys. So until the next time, peace out.